do you need to know before you buy that first home? I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Joan Reading. She is president of the Credit Counseling Center. Good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's exciting to think about that possibility of buying your first home, but you say we need to have everything in place so that this can be a seamless process and that we know what we're in for financially.
Right, that would be a good thing. To know what kind of criteria the mortgage company is looking for, and are you ready with some cash to put down, cash for some closing costs, and is your credit score at a reasonable level so that you can buy this house successfully.
And let's get into the details, because you do have free programs available in order to ensure that we do have all of this information in place and that things like our credit score are where they need to be. But you say one of the things that we need to do is work to improve that credit score. How do we do that? What are some of the things that we need to do? Okay.
First thing is to get a copy of your credit report, and you can get one free. The federal government put a website out called the annualcreditreport.com. So you can go to that and get a copy of your credit report. They don't supply the score. Unfortunately, you usually have to pay something, and it's usually $10 for the credit score, but at least that gives you some parameters to look at to see if you're in the ballpark for buying a house. And there's lots of information on the websites to tell you what's a good score to know, if you're ready to buy a house. And if your score is in the 500s, you probably need to improve that, and that's okay. Your score can grow as long as you take a look at it and fix those items and/or pay off some of that debt that is in fact on your credit score.
In addition to the credit score, we need to have some savings in place before we buy that house.
Yes, that would be good. It's very logical in the sense that the more you put down, the less you have to borrow. So it would be better to have more cash into the house and you put some skin in the game. There are programs to help people to help with a first home buyer program, but they all require some kind of down payment before, to get into this product. So, and again, the more you put down, the less you have to borrow. So that is a good thing, to have more money available.
In addition to working towards savings, many people have debt in a variety of different ways. Maybe it's student loans, maybe it's credit card debt. You say work to pay that down, eliminate debt.
Right. Again, if you're paying rent and you have these other debts, it's nice to shrink or eliminate that before you take on the burden of a mortgage. What I suggest to clients sometimes is, if you practice, say you have a $900 rent and you want to go to a $1,200 mortgage, try putting away $1,200 to see if that's okay, and you can live with that, then you'll probably be okay with getting that mortgage at that level. So it really is to take a look at the debt so you have less obligations on your plate, which would be helpful.
And there may be some assistance available when it comes to closing costs, depending on where you live. But in Bucks County, for example, you may be able to receive up to $10,000 in closing costs?
Right. If you come onto our agency, we do the counseling for that program, and you would be eligible for up to. You may only need $5,000, you may only need $7,000, which you can take, but it's up to $10,000, because the closing costs portion of buying a home can be very expensive. So my suggestion is to get ready, come to one of our programs. They're free, either individual or group sessions, and at least find out and get yourself ready. It may take you 6 months, it may take you a year, but home ownership is really your goal. Then let's get started.
And just a few seconds left, but are banks lending at this point? Are mortgages available?
They are available, and there's lots of products out there, and you have to decide which one makes the most sense, because it can get very confusing. So we're trying to help you go through that process.
Thanks so much for being with us, and you have one-on-one classes as well as group classes throughout the year.
Yes,
thank you. We've been talking with Joan Reading, president of the Credit Counseling Center. I'm Jill Horner.